All right, this is lesson 8.4, finding the area of composite figures, page 340 in your textbook. To find the area of a composite figure, separate it into figures with areas you know how to find. Then find the sum of the areas of those figures. So when we're finding the area, I usually think of like a carpet as finding the area of something. And say you have a room that's weirdly shaped like this, but you wanted to carpet it. Well, we could find the area of this rectangle on the bottom, a couple of triangles in here, another rectangle. Okay, so we can find the area and then we add those areas up. To find the area using grid paper, each whole box is a square unit. And then we've got these little half boxes. Now, these aren't 1.5 anymore. That was when we were doing perimeter. Each half box is a half of a unit. So the area of this yellow right here is 1/2 unit. So we're going to find these about the same way. What you do is you count up how many full squares there are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Don't count this one. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Don't count that one. 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. So there were 45 full squares. So those are each times 1, which is 45, of course. And now we go back and count those half squares. I got a half, another half, so that's 2, and then 3 halves over there. So 3 of them that were times, I'm going to put 0.5 for a half. 3 times 0.5 is 1.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, there were 5.5s. 5.5s. 3 over here, and then 2 over there. 5 times 0.5 is 2.5. I'm putting it over to the side here because we do have to line up our decimals. Remember, there's a decimal straight up in here. And when we add, we've got 5, drop the decimal, 7, 4. 47.5, and we call it square units. Or you can put units squared. So for these down here on your own, we do the same thing. So this is number 1. And we'll count up all of the full squares. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Oh, look at this. This is like kind of going part way in, so we're not going to be able to do that. What we are going to do is we're going to break this into figures we know. So we'll cut this into a triangle right there, and we know how to find the area of a triangle. And we can count all of these up. These are full. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 2 8s, so that's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So I have 22 squares that way. And now I have to figure out this triangle. Well, remember that the area of a triangle, I have it up here, area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So the base here would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 along the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going up the side. So the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height, which would be 1/2 5 times 6. Well, 5 times 6 is 30, and half of 30 is 15. So back up here, I had 22 for these whole amounts over here. And then all of this triangle is going to be 15. 22 plus 15 is, of course, 37 units squared. For number 2, on this, these are just halves. They aren't cutting them in small little pieces like this. So now we can count up all the rectangles, all the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. So 46 of those that are 1 apiece. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that are each worth 0.5. 10 times 0.5 is 5. 46 and 5 is 51 units squared. Finding the area here, find the area of the portion of the basketball court shown. So now we look here. We have a rectangle. We know that a rectangle is just length times width, so 12 times 19, 228. And then we really have a whole circle, but we already counted this much for the rectangle. So now we just have half of a circle left. Remember, the area of a half of a circle will be, area of a half circle would be 1/2 pi r squared. So we would do pi r squared, and the radius would be 6, because see how it's 12 all the way over here? So halfway would be 6. 6 squared is 36, and half of 36 is 18. So we'd have 18 pi for this half a circle. And so we would have written this as 228 plus 18 pi, all in parentheses, feet squared. Remember, it's square units now because we're in area. Find the area of these shapes down here. Well, you have to break these into shapes that we know. For this example here, we'd break this into a triangle, a rectangle, and then this is a parallelogram. And the area of a parallelogram is area equals base times height. Remember, the base and the height come together to be perpendicular, and they'll give you this little red square in there to let you know that's a right angle, or to let you know those are perpendicular. Remember that that little red square touches the base and it touches the height, just like in a triangle, like right here. It touches the base, it touches the height. You don't have to figure out which is the base and which is the height, or which is the... Look at that little rectangle there. It touches the base and the height. So when we do this, we would do this triangle here. It'd be 1/2 times base times height, 1/2 times 11.2 times 4.5. And you'd get 1/2 times 11.2 times 4.5 is 25.2. For this rectangle, it's just 8 times 4.5, which is 36. And then for this parallelogram, base is 8, height is 6.7, and 8 times 6.7 is 53.6. We take all three of those areas and we add them up to get 114.8 square centimeters, or centimeters squared. Now we'll do these on our own down here. Number 3. We have a triangle and a rectangle. I'll do the rectangle first. It's base times height. So area of a rectangle equals, I said base times height. You could say length times width as well. So length times width, 9 times 7, or 63. And the area of the triangle portion, 1/2 base times height, 1/2 9 times 6, so 9 times 6, base and height. And 1/2 of 6 is 3, and 3 times 9 is 27. So 27. Now I add my two areas up, 63 plus 27 to get 90. So my area, I'm going to put a T here for total area, equals 90 meters squared, because it's area, so square units. Number 4, if I look here, I've got a square in the middle, 2 by 2, and then I have a half circle, a half circle, a half circle, a half circle. So I could find 4 half circles, but you know that's the same as 2 full circles. Either way, you're going to get the same answer. So let's start with the area of the rectangle, or square in the middle, which is just length times width. 2 times 2 in this case, which is 4. The area of one of the circles, pi r squared. Pi, now the radius, if it's 2 all the way across. The radius is just 1. So 1 squared. Well, 1 times 1 is just 1. So the area of the circle is just 1 pi, or we could just put pi. Well, that's 1 circle. And remember, we have 4 half circles, which is 2 full circles. So I'll do the area of the other circle is also pi. So I have 4 and pi, and when I get the area total, I add all those up. Pi plus pi, or 1 pi plus 1 pi equals 2 pi, plus 4, for that 4 right there. Put it all in parentheses, and the units are feet squared. Remember, it's squared because it's area. Now, we're supposed to get started on some of these problems, and I wanted to show you that when we look at these, if you look at number 12, 13, 14, these look like really weird shapes. And I don't know if you would be able to figure out what you could divide this into to find the total area of that shape. But I also know that there's another way to do this. You could find the total area, pretend that this is all filled in just one big rectangle. So it would be 13 times 8, length times width, and then find the area that's been cut out. So this would be a triangle. If it's 13 up here, and this is 4 and this is 4, so that's 8 altogether, then that leaves 5 for this base right here, and it's 6 for the height. So when you did 8 times 13 and got 104, then you would subtract off this triangle, which 1/2 base times height, so it would be 6 times 5 is 30, half of that is 15, so 104 minus 15 to get you 89, okay? All we did was took the whole rectangle and subtracted out this triangle. Same thing here, there's no way to divide this up. Sometimes kids will try to put some little line in here and come up with 2 triangles. Really, you have one big triangle, and you subtract out the area of this rectangle. So try number 13. You can check the answer in the back of your book, but count this as one big triangle. Remember, 1/2 base times height, and then subtract out this rectangle that's missing, which is a 4 by 2 rectangle. 4 times 2 is 8. So find the whole triangle and subtract out 8. See if you can get that answer right for the back. When you're all done, then you can go to the homework for section 8.4 or lesson 8.4. The video is already there. Have a fantastic evening.